guys. It's great to be back in the studio. I've been gone for the last couple months. I told Christopher here that he may have to help me out tonight. I'm a little jet lagged from the trip back from India, and then I think I caught something on the plane. So of course we're going to be talking about health. So as I'm sitting here not feeling very well, so I think it's apropos. Tell us about this event that you've got coming up this week. The reason I wanted to rush to get this episode out.
For sure, 100%. So Dr. Kenneth Fernandez-Taylor and I are organizing the Reclaiming Health and Longevity Symposium for Unity and Freedom. It's a merger of decentralized wealth and decentralized health, the red pill, the orange pill. We really want to just build community and bring like-minded people together.
Sweet. And why El Salvador? Tell me the story. I think you've been living here for a while, and I believe you actually got married, and so give us a little bit of story of what brought you to El Salvador and why you want to do this event here in El Salvador.
100%. Well, El Salvador is the world's new cradle of freedom. It's now the safest country in the Western Hemisphere. And it's just really a great place for entrepreneurs, Bitcoiners, like-minded people to co-create and operate in. I just love the quality of life, the authenticity of the locals. And as a young, 29-year-old man, it's been a really incredible sort of shift, especially from me predominantly traveling and living in major Western cities to really a place I really feel like is home now.
Okay. And how long have you been here, and
So I've only been here for 1 year, and I have just recently got married, and I have a baby on the way.
Wow.
So it's
congratulations.
Quite the shift.
Yeah. And is El Salvador going to be home for you guys?
Yes, 100%. Yeah.
Okay.
Because she's El Salvadorian, and this is home for her.
I don't want to get too much into your personal things, so you can tell me that you don't want to talk about it, but I'm just curious, how did you guys meet? Like, what was the...
Oh, yeah. So we met through a mutual friend from Switzerland, and from there, we realized we had similar sort of interests. We thought similarly about the world and the way the world's operating right now, and have had similar aligned values. So based on that foundation, I thought it was the right decision. And I've realized that in the West, we're seeing a lot of chaos. And for me, I'm all about remoralization and repopulation.
Okay. And did El Salvador's adoption of Bitcoin have anything to do with you moving down here, or was it for other reasons, or what was it that kind of was that driving force?
Yes, that's a really great question. So I would say, obviously, when you look at the West, people are controlled through finance. Finance is the medium they manage to control and enslave us. And so with El Salvador's emphasis on Bitcoin and it being Bitcoin country, that really appealed to me, because I realized the way out it starts with decentralized finance and us reclaiming our wealth. And so this is where we wanted to tie that into the symposium, because the emphasis is on helping people reclaim their wealth and their health, because those are two major factors to really helping an individual live a complete, wholesome, and empowered life.
And so where did the health part come in for you? Like, what was kind of the driving force of wanting to focus on that aspect? I mean, I understand, El Salvador is known as Bitcoin country. You guys are holding this right before the adopting Bitcoin event. And so there's going to be obviously a lot of Bitcoiners here. And so that part makes sense. For you personally, where has health come in, and what's kind of been your journey and focus? And then why did you feel like it was the right place to combine those things?
Yeah, 100%. That's also a really great question. Well, in El Salvador, we have Jack Cruz and his community, very health-focused community.
Yeah.
I think El Salvador is a really great space for people to heal. There's a lot of sun, there's great weather, there's access to a lot of incredible health practitioners. So it's really a good hub, and especially with the fact that it's so affordable. In the West, health has become so unaffordable. And a lot of the health that is provided, let's say in Canada, within the system, the socialist system, isn't the greatest.
And just for the audience, frame of reference, you're Canadian, correct?
Yes, I'm
Okay.
Canadian, and I proudly
So you have
escaped.
experience with that system.
Yeah, proudly escaped communist Canada, and I'm now living in free El Salvador. So it's been, yeah, a really great shift for me.
So
Um,
I'm curious to get your perspective on the health side because in El Salvador, I feel like I'm of two minds about the system here. On the one hand, it's very affordable.
yeah,
I've gotten great care whenever I've need to see the doctor. I mean, compared to like trying to navigate in the U.S., you go in, you get if you want to get an appointment, usually they get you in the next few days. It's relatively cheap, especially compared to the U.S. and the quality of care. Everything I've received here has been great.
yeah,
On the other hand, I feel like Salvadorans are very much into have bought into the promises of pharma. Like if
hmm
somebody goes to the doctor here and they don't leave with an injection or a prescription, they feel like they've been ripped off. A lot of times they'll just give them like vitamin injections. And I think it's just so that the person feels like they got their money's worth, that they, had some type of pharma medication of whatever they went in for. So I'm curious how you kind of bring those two things together that I see. I'm just curious for your opinion on that.
100%. So Dr. Ken and I, when assessing this sort of current system, realized that a lot of people are just unaware of the alternatives. They don't know that there's such great options when it comes to holistic, naturopathic, energy, whatnot, various different forms of healing. We are what we eat, and a lot of people here don't have the healthiest diet. So really emphasizing the importance of diet, sunlight, just like what Jack Cruz emphasizes, various different sort of natural ways to heal, natural remedies. There's so much out there, and I feel like with the system, they want us to be in a tunnel vision. And so the symposium is just a great format for us to communicate all these great options for people. And that's why we have over 50 speakers coming in from over 13 different countries from around the world to help educate and help showcase some of these incredible solutions, as well as some of the latest technologies out there. An incredible technology Dr. Kenneth Fernandez Taylor will be showcasing at the event is called the Neurovisor, and it's a form of light therapy to really help provide this very deep form of healing. It's incredible. So we'll be showcasing it at the event. We have many other incredible organizations a part of the symposium, like Solaris Healthcare, and many others. We're just so blessed to be surrounded by such a very value-aligned and intentional community here when it comes to health,
Yeah.
especially. Yeah.
So I know a lot of the speakers you're bringing in. This will be their first time in El Salvador. What was their response when you reached out to them? Were they kind of surprised that there was an event like this happening in El Salvador? Yeah, I'm just kind of curious to how they responded.
Yeah, a lot of people are like, wow, how do you manage to do this and pull this off? And so really comes down to um, just the ultimately the intention behind it. And I think a lot of the speakers that we've connected with resonate with the intention. People are a lot of people are very sick right now and very poor. And so we need to do whatever it takes as a community to help people heal and build their wealth, because these are the two key pillars, fundamental pillars for people to reclaim their life. And so this is where Dr. Ken and I teamed up and decided, let's make this happen. Let's build a very value-aligned community to help one another. And so, yeah, a lot of our speakers resonated with that, and they're like, yes, we want to come check out El Salvador. El Salvador is on the map now. We love what we're seeing with the leadership here and a lot of the policy shifts, and the way the country took back its health um, and wealth. And so people can now do that here.
Yeah. No, I think it's very interesting. I know a lot of, I just turned 50 this last year, and a lot of the people in my age group are, really wrestling with these things. You've had certain things told to you as, gospel as far as health, and we're seeing just how unhealthy we've become as, as we get a little bit older. And so I know, like my wife and I recently went on the carnivore diet, and we've been doing that for the last couple months, and we, feel great. But you tell a typical doctor that, and they'll say, "Oh, that's horrible for you." And so I think it's interesting. I feel like a lot of people are questioning everything right now. I think
Yeah.
post COVID, seeing just the craziness of the vaccine policies, how they were pushing, vaccines even on kids that were at zero risk, and without us really knowing what the long term impacts of. And I think a lot of people are kind of like, wow, if they're willing to be that reckless with their recommendations, with kids, what about everything that we've been told our whole life? And so I feel like there's a lot of people like my wife and I that are questioning everything, that are trying to figure out, how do we get healthy? What are real changes we should make? So I think it's very apropos time to be having something like this here in El Salvador.
Yes. And one thing I always ask people is like, do they feel healthy? And a lot of people say no. And this is where they have ways to heal. And I think this is where it comes down to community. The opposite of addiction is connection. And a lot of people have been isolated from the pandemic and from a lot of just the way society has been operating recently. People have gone into their shell because it's become a chaotic world. People feel unsafe. People feel sort of depressed. And this is where I say, let's change that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, everything that we did during COVID,
Yeah.
like, pushed people into isolation. I mean, they've done all these studies that show that how much more likely you are to die if you're not in community, if you're not connected. And then we took sick people and isolated them so that they could die. I mean, it
I know.
seems like so obvious, but I feel like it didn't end there. Like, we still have the repercussions of that. Like, people are still isolated. I feel like even compared to how they were pre-pandemic.
Yes. Because it takes 21 days to instill a habit. And so this is why it was 2 to 3 weeks to flatten the curve. And so as a result of this, people continue to stay in isolation even when they didn't have to anymore. And so this is where now it's time for us to get them out of their house, get them off their couch, and have some fun in beautiful El Salvador. Connect with like-minded people that think similarly and are there to spread the vibration of love and healing and connection.
Sweet. Well, Paco, why don't you pull up that little intro video? I think it gives a little more information about the event.
Are you still trusting a system that profits from your sickness? You felt it. Something's deeply wrong. They sold us safety and gave us silence. They offered us care, but delivered us control. It's not in your head, and you're not alone. Around the world, people are waking up. They're stepping away from broken systems and reclaiming what it means to be truly well. This November, we're gathering in El Salvador at the Reclaiming Health and Longevity Symposium. This isn't a corporate health expo. This isn't mainstream biohacking with a price tag. This is connection and reunion. Doctors, shamans, Bitcoiners, artists, truth tellers, and freedom lovers, all coming together for one reason: to remember what it means to be human and to rise. If you're done with the lies, if you want real healing and real solutions, plus real community, this is for you. November 11th to 12th at Salamanca, San Salvador, El Salvador. You can buy your tickets at reclaiminghealth.life. The time isn't someday, the time is now.
So there's still tickets available. People can go there and purchase.
Yes, there are tickets available. What we have been selling a bunch like hotcakes. So it's you got to get your tickets while you can.
Sweet. I'm curious for you, who are you most excited about seeing, and what they're going to be talking about at this event?
Yes, for sure. Well, one of my sort of heroes is Murph's life. I really respect his work and I honor what he does here in the country of El Salvador. And so I'm really stoked for him to be there. Dr. Peter McCullough, he'll be tuning in, zooming in for us. But it's going to be great to have him speak as well. We have an incredible doctor from Canada that's quite renowned, Dr. William Mackis. He's also going to be speaking in person, and he's flying in, stoked to connect with the community here. We have Miss Bitcoin as well. She's really excited to come join us. Dr. Arpit Bansal from India, many other incredible speakers from over 13 different countries. So it's really going to be a very international experience.
And what, like, to somebody who's trying to decide, like, hey, I'm coming into town for all the Bitcoin events. I don't know if, this would be something that would, be any value add for me. What would be your, like, elevator speech to them to get them to the event?
100%. Well, first of all, do you feel healthy? If not, this is the space for you to figure out how to reclaim your health, because you can connect with the best practitioners that are non-big pharma in multiple different facets. And healing is a multifaceted game. At a lot of these Bitcoin events, you get to meet a lot of like-minded people. But once you sort of learn and understand how Bitcoin operates, and the fact there's 21 million Bitcoin, and the sovereignty aspect, whatnot, there's other aspects to sort of this movement in general. It's really a movement. It's humans reclaiming their sovereignty, humans reclaiming their finance, humans reclaiming their health. But one thing I've noticed about a lot of Bitcoiners is they aren't the healthiest people. And so this is where we can now start with the second pillar of health. Once you've reclaimed your finance, now let's reclaim your health, and let's make you the strongest, most incredible, empowered individual you could ever become. And this is where, to do that, it's really through your vibe tribe. Your vibe attracts your tribe. And this is going to be a high vibe experience for like-minded people. And this is where we can elevate each other, help each other grow, help each other learn, help each other reclaim our health. And so this is really one of the core sort of elements of what we're doing. It really comes down to community building. People can learn whatever they want on Google or on some webinar or something, but in-person connection, there's nothing like it.
So kind of jumping off of that connection, I'm curious for you moving down here, what has it been like to connect? How do you feel your community is here compared to what you left in Canada? What things do you miss about Canada? That there's always, we choose to be here, so obviously we prefer to be here, but there's always things that we miss. So I'm kind of curious as how you found the social, and then what's been the hardest part for you moving here?
Yeah. Other than the nature and my family, I miss nothing about Canada. It's a very corrupted system, a very demoralized nation now, and it's all by design. It's in order to shift a communist new system. And it's a 4-step process of ideological subversion: demoralize the nation, destabilize it, crisis, normalize. So that's what Canada's unfortunately going through. So those that are able to wake up to this truth and able to get out of the fishbowl are able to come here to a place like El Salvador and just feel at peace again, because you're surrounded by people who can critically think and that are common sense thinkers. And so that's really been a huge sort of win for me being here, because I've found my vibe tribe. I found like-minded people I resonate with. I found people that I can have incredible discussions with at the dinner table. And even if we disagree or debate, it's not the end of the world. And so it's really been a refresh, a nice reset.
And the community that you've connected with here, has it been mostly Salvadorans, mostly expats, a mix? What's and how have you found, because people ask this all the time, like, how easy is it to build community there? Am I going to be just kind of like there on my own, or will I find a group to become a part of? Will I find something that I can kind of throw my energies into? What's that experience been like for you?
For me, this experience has been so wholesome. People have welcomed me with open arms. The locals are so authentic. I've never met people quite like them. And I'll tell you, I've traveled to over 80 countries in my life. I've lived in over 8 different countries, and I've never met people so authentic, so welcoming. You meet them, they invite you into your home, they cook you a nice warm dinner, and their mother welcomes you and gives you a hug. I spent so many years in Canada getting to know people, and not once did they ever invite me over for dinner, and it's just such a shift. And then the expats here are just so awake and aware and loving, and they're restarting their lives. They're building, they're creating. They have the space to create and build, and they feel empowered to do so because of the government policies here. And so it's really been life changing. Yeah.
So for, people that are watching that are, maybe living in Canada or
Yeah.
Europe or some other place where they feel like the direction of society is not going where they where they want to go, what would you say to people that are thinking about moving to a place like El Salvador? Who would you caution against moving? What are some of the things that people need to be aware of that you've run into that have been challenges? Because I mean, obviously, I live here, so I prefer to be here, but it's not for everybody, and we've seen people move here for a couple of years, and then kind of leave and feel kind of disappointed, and so it's definitely not for everybody. So I'm curious for you, what have been the challenges, and what would be your recommendations to people?
Yeah, for people who don't like freedom, don't like sovereignty, and don't like a nice holistic lifestyle, I say stay in the West. For people that are ready to, first of all, get out, get in, and get set up, and come to El Salvador, you guys are going to come to the right place. And so that's where I've devised a 3-step plan for people. Step 1, get out. Step 2, get in. Step 3, get set up. It's easy as that. And for a lot of these people, their fishbowl is toxic. It's been poisoned. And so the only way finding Nemo gets out is by getting out of the bowl. So sometimes you got to shift your setting to shift your state.
So
Yeah.
after the event, you guys are doing some kind of follow-on retreats, correct?
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so we have 2 retreats post Symposium. So the Symposium is November 11th and 12th. We have a retreat called the Elevating Consciousness Experience from the 13th to 14th. And so that'll be a more wellness-focused retreat. And then we have our Bitcoin Well Mastermind in partnership with Adopting Bitcoin, which is a Bitcoin-focused retreat happening from the 16th to the 17th of November. So, it's going to be quite a jam-packed filled Bitcoin week here in El Salvador. But I know people are stoked. I've been getting calls from people from all over the world saying they're coming, they're stoked, and they're just ready to have some fun.
Awesome. So maybe mention one more time where
Mm.
people can buy those tickets or can sign up for one of the retreats.
Yeah, for sure. So you can sign up for tickets for the Symposium. We have 3 tiers: Los Salvadoreños for locals, we have general admission, and we have VIP. And those tickets can be purchased at reclaiminghealth.life, as well as our retreats. The Elevating Consciousness Experience and the Bitcoin Well Mastermind in partnership with Adopting Bitcoin can be also purchased at reclaiminghealth.life. So we invite you to come join us.
Sweet. Well, is there anything else you wanted to hit on? I feel like we covered it all pretty quick, but that's probably good because this info needs to get out quick because the retreat's in 3 days. So
Yeah. No, it's been great. I'd love to hear more about your trip to India. How was that for you?
it was great. I was in India in '97 for about a month, so it's almost 30 years ago. So it was
wow.
it was interesting going back and yeah, the Bitcoin community there was very welcoming. Had some amazing interactions. I was kind of reminded of how in India is still a very state controlled country. I mean, it's the government. It's very top down, and so Bitcoin really is a escape hatch for people there to be able to get around financial controls and to have some sovereignty. But in general, the people seem scared of the government in a way. I forget, coming from the U.S., I think the U.S. people from the U.S. tend to be rebellious just at heart, and so
Yeah.
they tend to question and break the rules. And a lot of places it isn't like that. And so I kind of sense that in India, they're kind of, you follow the rules, and so it's scary for them to kind of go against what the government wants. But I think they realize the necessity of it. So.
Sounds to me just like Canada. But I love India. I have a special place in India in my heart. Lived there for 3 years in Chennai, India.
Okay, in Chennai.
And used to work there in Delhi. And it's just such a beautiful country as well. This is why it's called Incredible India, right?
Yeah.
It's just nothing like it. The culture shock, the music, the entertainment, the food, the smells, the people, the auto rickshaws. Yeah. It's just,
Yeah, and it's crazy too to just put it in perspective. You know, I think they've got close to 1.5 billion now, which is like,
wow.
you know, South America, North America, and Europe combined.
It's
and
nuts.
It is nuts. So definitely, we want them leading the way on Bitcoin. So,
Yes.
yeah. So it was
We want
was
them
a
to
good trip.
adopt it. That's
Yeah.
for sure. 100%.
Yeah.
That'd be good for the Bitcoin price.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll encourage people to check out the conference here in El Salvador and
Yes.
focus on the health. And I'm assuming you guys will be doing more events in the future. And it feels like El Salvador is bringing people in that really are focused on health, but not from you know, the pharmaceutical side or the standard medicine, but kind of really questioning everything, which I love to see happening, and I'd love to see events like this happening. So
100% decentralized health and wealth. It's the way. So,
all right.
and I honor your work helping spread the message of Bitcoin as well. And so we need more people like us to shift the world for the better.
Well, I appreciate you coming in, and I know you got a lot on your plate with everything coming up. So yeah, we'll have to recap at some other time.
Thank you, Mike.
All right. Thank
God
you.
bless you. Thank you.